Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about 8 signs that you may live in a good neighborhood. Now when we're talking about good, we're talking about neighborhoods that are relatively safe and friendly. I lived in many places in the Bay Area in California, also lived in Las Vegas. And some of those places I lived were relatively safe, but the people there weren't necessarily friendly. So today we're trying to uncover 8 signs that you may live in a good neighborhood. Number 1, the schools. When you look into buy a house, you want to look at the school ratings. And I know some of you might be like, you know what, I don't have kids, or I'm thinking about having kids, but I'm not really concerned about the school ratings right now. Here's why you need to look at the school ratings. Most of the time, the school ratings are going to be reflective of the student behavior. That's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. And if the students at the school don't know how to act in school, how do you think they're going to act outside of school? It's much worse. Now, this is not always the case. I've been to some schools, only 2, where the school rating was relatively low, but the student behavior was pretty good. And the reason for that was they had low quality of teachers, or they had long-term subs. So their student report card, their process was low because they didn't have any teachers. They had a bunch of subs. But majority of the time, you want to make sure that the schools around that neighborhood you're going to live in are good. Number 2, exercising outside. You want to see people being physically active in your community. And this can be as simple of walking the dog, going for a jog, or just a family just taking a walk, When you see people outside in your community, it's showing you that people feel that they're safe in their community. Now, the opposite, if you don't see people in your community walking around or being physically active, is probably because they don't feel safe. And I think we take that for granted sometimes, where if you're so overwhelmed with work at home, so you're working from home, you just need to take a walk around the block and you go do that. In a lot of communities that are not good, you can't do that because you run the risk of being robbed or harassed. So you want to look for communities where people are being physically active. Number 3, attractive curb appeal. You want to be in a neighborhood that's relatively clean. You don't want to step over someone's garbage or complain to your neighbor that their dog's poop is on the lawn and they don't clean up after it. The landscape is going to reflect what type of neighborhood you're in. You don't want to be where lawns are neglected. You want to see some type of pride in home ownership. Now, the neighborhoods, they don't need to look like the Hamptons, but they just need to be well kept and maintained. Number 4, amenities are close. Many things you can change about a house structure, but the physical location is not one of them. A good neighborhood is conveniently located near amenities. Consider the distance to major highways for commuting, as well as grocery stores, restaurants, retail facilities, malls, gallerias. You want things to be close, but not too close to where there's loud noise or a lot of people traffic. You want to be able to conveniently jump in your car and be within minutes for shopping. Number 5, quiet day and night. Good neighborhoods are typically quiet during the day, but especially at night. In a quiet neighborhood, you're able to go home, study for that class you've been taking, finish that project from work, read the kids a bedtime story. You're able to get home, relax, unwind, and prepare yourself for the next work day. And to be able to do that, you need to live in a quiet neighborhood. If you haven't already, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Also, click on the notifications. And don't forget to like the video so we can make more like this. Number 6, low crime rate. Now, this should be extremely obvious. If you're currently living in a neighborhood where there's a lot of crime, where people are getting robbed, things are getting vandalized, then you probably don't live in a good community. And I can already hear people saying, well, I live in a community where there's a lot of crime, but I'm relatively safe and the people are friendly. Now, that would not negate the fact that things could pop off at any moment in that community. So you typically want to be in a neighborhood where the crime is low or absolutely absent. Number 7, packages are safe. It really sucks that when you live in a neighborhood, you have to worry about your Amazon packages being stolen. It's nothing like having a peace of mind knowing when you live in a good community that your Amazon packages, your packages in general, are safe. Like no one's going to mess with them. When you live in a good community, you have this peace of mind. Better yet, if your packages are delivered on accident to your neighbor's address, your neighbor will look at the package, notice the address is incorrect, walk over, ring your doorbell, let you know that, hey, your Amazon packages or your groceries were accidentally delivered to my place. Here you go. Qualities of a good community. Number 8, people are friendly. It's nice to be in a neighborhood where people smile at you. When you pull into your driveway after work, you see your neighbor across the street, they raise their hand, they acknowledge your existence, they say hi. You can get an overall sense of gratitude from the people living there because they know they're living in a safe, friendly community. That wraps it up for me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notifications button.